We must talk about racism, we must talk about history, but there is a way to do it. You have to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how do we progress from that. When I came to America from Jamaica, my father came before, came only with $1.75. And then after he was more stable, he came back to Jamaica, brought me here, and we landed at JFK into a new world. It was a very traumatic time for me, but you adapt, you learn. My paternal grandmother died, and if no one in this world loved me, I knew that she did, and so did my mother's mother. Grandparents just love you no matter what. I was just so despondent, my life was over as far as I could tell, and I said to my mother, well, I'm just gonna stay here and die. But I happened to see a Jet magazine that she had on her table. I flipped it open, and there it was, the Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. And I thought, that's what I need, the Marines, and they will give me the discipline, and they will give me a reason to live. And sure enough, they did. I just never knew how to stay saved, as they say. I was kind of one of those people who every Sunday I was coming down the aisle to get saved. My youngest daughter she was about a year old, and I heard a voice say, she's gonna grow up not knowing me, and she's gonna blame you. That was the Lord. And I said, no, she's not. And right then and there, I looked for a church, and I found the church. That's where I was discipled, and that's what started me in the path to me being the person I know now. My paternal grandmother, she was very heavily involved in politics in Jamaica. I remember she would listen to talk radio when I was 8 years old. I remember watching. We always taught politics in my home, and the cousins, they were involved in politics. So I went to campaign manager school, and so I was asked to run for delegate. I ran, and of course, it was very difficult because I ran in a district that was 58% Black district, 62% Democrat overall. And here I am running as a Republican. We did everything we could. We did a lot of praying, and we won. I say we because I couldn't have done it by myself. It was education. When we look at the scores in Virginia, the NAEP scores, it shows that by the time the children in Virginia reach the 8th grade, fully 35% of Asian children cannot do math, 45% of white children, 70% of Latino children, 84% of Black children cannot do math by the time they're in the 8th grade. I'm an advocate of school choice. What I call it, parental school choice. The parents get to choose. The refrain I hear is, well, yes, but we don't want public monies going towards private schools. But let's think about that. When we have SNAP benefits, welfare benefits, food benefits, don't we have public monies going towards private grocers? Of course, there's no government grocery store that the money goes to. When we have Section 8 vouchers for housing, that's public monies going towards private landlords, private whatever, right? When we have Medicare, Medicaid, that's public monies that go to private doctors, private hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. So how is it when it comes to the K through 12, the foundational years of a child's life, I as the parent cannot choose where my child should attend school? We have to talk about race. You can't escape it. My father came to America August 11th of 1963, just 17 days before Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. And, I asked my father then, why would you come? It was a bad time for us. It was the height of the civil rights movement. He said, because this is where the jobs and the opportunities were. And so we must talk about those issues that have shaped America. There is a way to teach it such that the white child isn't made to be the oppressor, and the black child isn't made to feel as if they're victims. You have to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how do we progress from that. We have a saying in church, and it's, I may not be what I'm supposed to be, but I ain't what I used to be. And that's America. She's not 1963 when my father first came, and I'm proof of that. Here I sit, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, the former capital of the Confederacy. You see, we can say certain things about America that she's former. Let's give God thanks for who we are now and who we're going to be. So I look at you, and I don't know if you're Republican, Green Party, Reform Party, Constitutional Party, Democrat. I don't know what you are. But people look at me, and immediately they think, if they don't know me, Democrat. There's no political power in that. I want for people to say, we've got to come and win that person. Let's just allow each other to be. And by the way, I'm not asking for permission because I'm an adult. I'm going to vote the way that I want to. I'm not going to vote the way that you want me to. But you see, in Jamaica, and people who have come from other countries, they see that there are two-party systems, sometimes three, and people belong to whichever one that they want.
Yeah.
We can have that here too, and we will have that.